Hi everyone, I'm Fran and welcome to Delicious Sparkly Cakes, where you can learn how to make amazing cakes for your friends and for your family. I haven't had time to go to the theater yet to watch Maleficent. However, I had time to make a Maleficent cake, which I hope you're going to enjoy. It is a bit different than usual, as normally I like to put cake toppers on top of the cake, but this time I wanted to make something easier and a bit different as well. Plus, if I added the wings at the bottom of the cake, at the front of the cake, they could have more support. So I really hope you enjoy this cake, and now let's see how to make it. Okay, let's start making the cake, and the one that I'm using here is a chocolate cake with green buttercream. Because it is a Maleficent cake, I've decided to cover the cake with black buttercream. And then with a cake scraper, I went all around to make the cake nice and smooth. And this is something that I normally do 2-3 times, and if it's a very difficult cake, even 4 times as well. Then I've painted the front of the cake with some green edible color, and I've made lots of kind of lighting, which they emphasize when Maleficent is really upset. After having done that, I've put the cake on the fridge and started with the decorations. Here is a template that I've cut from the internet, and so I rolled some black fondant, then I put the template on top of it and then cut the black fondant. Now we're going to make lots of feathers with some black fondant. What I've done is cut a lot of long strips with a round top. Once I've done that, I've split them in two to have more room between them both, just to make it easier for me and quicker. I've made lots of cuts, first on the right and then on the left. I've just noticed that it's not very easy to see the black fondant on the camera. Sorry about that, I'll try to make it better. I've put them all onto the wing, and I've tried to put one next to the other, but one on top of the other a little bit. Don't forget to leave all the tips outside, because afterwards, at the end, you're gonna lift them up just a little bit, and that will give a different dimension to the wings. Finally, I've added 2 little horns at the top of each wing, and then I painted with gold paint. Obviously, it's edible gold paint. Now it's time to make Maleficent. And we're going to start making the face first, which is a flesh fondant, and I've made it as an oval. Then I've shaped the chin and then removed any extra fondant. So then I started to make the eyes, and with the help of a handle brush, I've drawn where the eyes are going to be, and then with my index fingers, I've drawn where actually the eyes are. Then I've lifted a little bit the fondant to make the nose, and with the use of a pointed brush, which is quite soft, I made the nostrils. Now let's cut the mouth. With a very small ball tool, let's make the part that it is on top of the lip, and then let's lift it up a little bit. Then we need to make the bottom lip with the help of a leaf shaper. At this point we can just draw the eyes. I always like to start with the right first and then with the left one. Obviously these are not going to be asymmetric because of the way that the photo has been done, and I want to make it as much as possible similar to the photo. And now let's give the face a little bit more shape. At this point, with the help of a small ball tool, I've pressed the inside of the eye, then I've added some white fondant, and with the green gel fondant, I've painted the irises, both right and left, obviously. With some black gel paste, I've painted the outside of the iris and then the pupils. Then I've added a little bit of fondant to make the eyelid. And then just a really tiny strip at the bottom of the eye as well. At this point I painted the eye, the outside of the eye, the eyelid and the bottom of the eye with the black fondant, and again using the same color gel. I keep saying fondant instead of coloring gel, I just noticed, and I've just painted the eyebrows as well. And now with an amazing red coloring, I've just painted the lips. I'm not sure what brand it is because I bought it years ago, but I really think it is really nice. Then again, using some black, I've painted the eyelashes. Now it's time to make the hat with the horns as well. And to do so, first of all, let's make a triangle and put it on Maleficent's head. Then with a ball of black fondant, which I'm going to press, I'm going to cover the whole head, and with a leaf shaper I'm going to rub a little bit to make sure it's going to look all even without any lines on it. Then I rolled a long strip of fondant, which is narrow at one side and bigger at the other side, and then I put it onto the head. Finally, with a craft knife, I've made all the lines, just exactly how Maleficent has. And then I've added a small beak at the front of the hat as well, which I'm gonna paint afterwards with some gold paint. But at the moment I'm going to add some shadows and some makeup as well. First on the eyes, I'm going to use this pinky color, and then I'm going to use some black on the cheek. I think I put a little bit too much, but I'm going to blend it very gentle with this kitchen paper. And as I said before, let's paint the beak with some gold paint. Now it's time to cut the body, using always the same template. And then I'm going to fill it at the top with some flesh fondant to make the neck and the breast. And then at the bottom I'm going to use instead some black fondant, which I've just pressed and try to make it more round as well. Now let's put the face on top of it and to see how it does look. I think it's starting to look a little bit more realistic and nicer. Now with a long sausage of black fondant, let's make the arm. So sometimes you might need as well to look always at the template. So let's put it onto the body and let's leave it at the moment. We're gonna come back afterwards. Now let's make Maleficent stick with some other black fondant, and at the top I'm going to add some a novel of green fondant. And then we can put it next to Maleficent. So now we need to add the hand, which is on to the stick, and to do so we're going to make one cut first for the thumb and then the other 3 cuts. We need to roll them a little bit to make them longer and then I'm going to put them on top of the stick and cut any extra fondant. Now let's make the gold features that Maleficent has onto her dress, which are made of very small, all of different sizes of yellow fondant to make them. And I'm gonna put them on the left. I've added just 3 of them, and I'm gonna add lots more on the left. And then a small piece at the bottom as well, which I've engraved with the other side of the leaf shaper. Then we need to make the decoration on Maleficent arm, which is a very long, thin strip again of yellow fondant. I've engraved with a pointed tool, and then I've added 3 of the other decorations. Then I shaped them a little bit, and finally I've painted all with gold. At this point I've decided to add a Maleficent crow, which I've made starting with a ball of fondant. Then I rolled one side and made a little bit smaller, and then the same on the other side but a little bit bigger. Then I've pressed a little bit and made the beak with some yellow fondant. So I've removed the last bit of the crow, and I've added the beak to the crow. Cut it, and then I've added a small piece of fondant to make the eye. Finally, with 2 kind of drops fondant which I've pressed them, I've added the wings as well. finally, it's time to put everything together, and I put Maleficent at the front of the cake, then the wings on each side, which for them you're going to need probably a little bit of water to stick them to the cake. And then on the left Maleficent wing, I've added the crown with the cocktail stick as well. I've decided to add some green lollipops with some black sugars. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I make one video every week about cake decorating and figures making, and I would love to have you join me for the next one. If you've already been to the cinema, let me know what did you think about the Maleficent. Is it any good? The first one, is it better? I really would love to hear from you. But anyway, don't forget to be creative and have fun. Bye bye!